Welcome to the Contracting Guy. Most of the times we get together for the Contracting Guy podcasts, we're talking about some contracting issue or question that you might have. But today I want to present you a special feature. The special feature is about a man who contributed perhaps more than he needed to the success of veteran-owned small businesses and service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses. Let me talk about him in just a moment. The person whom I'm speaking about, his name is Ed Ronders. To understand Ed Ronders, at least in the context of small businesses and veteran-owned small businesses, we need to understand what he built. Ed built VetBizCentral. It started out as an idea of his, and it slowly became an entity that is the model of many other organizational groups. Now, VetBizCentral is part of the veteran business outreach centers that are supported by the Small Business Administration. That's today. Back in 2004, when Ed finally got VetBizCentral on the radar, it was just a fledgling operation. He was making it work and making friends and reaching out. Ed, being a Navy veteran, also was very resourceful. So this was a second career for him, and he was putting all of his efforts toward it. With that, he had focused on making key relationships, building a structure that he planned on seeing through until he retired from it. In 2007, he became a nonprofit. So VetBizCentral became a nonprofit at that time. In 2009, VetBizCentral joined the family of the Small Business Administration and became one of 3 veteran business outreach centers that was able to get a grant from SBA. The following year, 2010, VetBizCentral was on the map. It received its first 5-year grant for operations. Now, this is absolutely critical. It was during a key time in service-disabled veteran-owned small business outreach that was occurring by SBA and also the Department of Veterans Affairs. So this was big-time stuff. All this happened at a time where it just was a nexus of what the government was doing and what the people and what veteran-owned small businesses were asking. That's what he built. He built that organization. Ed Ronders is someone who is a pioneer in the industry. In 2005, he worked with Mr. Keith King, currently the CEO of the National Veterans Business Development Council, to get the service-disabled veteran law passed in Michigan. So we've got startup in 2004, 2005. He's helping service-disabled veteran-owned small business aspects in the state of Michigan. 2007, he becomes a nonprofit. 2009, he gets his first grant from the SBA. 2010, he gets his first 5-year grant. Now, at this point, he has spent a lot of energy and a lot of time. So in 2012, Ed had passed on the reins of leadership to Matt Sherwood. Now, Matt Sherwood was a protege of Ed's. So Matt knew and thought like Ed and did things like Ed. So he was a good follow-on executive director to Ed. It was a wonderful symbiotic relationship, what you have here with Ed and Matt. So he retired from VetBizCentral in 2012, and Matt took over. Now, Matt says of Ed was such a great person and a tremendous advocate for veterans and veteran businesses. Now, Keith King says of Ed Few men work for the benefit of others and expect nothing in return. Ed was one of those men. Pamela Port, program director for Muskegon First PTAC, said, Ed was a phenomenal voice for all veterans, and the time I was able to work with him over the many years brought me and the veterans he served so much joy. Veterans, we lost an advocate today. We must carry the torch and move on. And remember, I think if Ed would have said this, this would have been appropriate for him. In his establishment of VetBizCentral, if not me, then who? Thank you, Ed, for your service.